Here we are at Werribee Zoo, which is Melbourne's, owned by Melbourne Zoological Society. So we're going straight on the safari.
Can live for very long stretches of time, 6 months to a year, without drinking any water. Our mum's getting it up now. Maybe she's not happy with us being right here. But isn't she beautiful? That little guy. These have very different horns, as you can see, and again they're hunted for their horns. And these are completely extinct in the wild. There are none left. They did put a small group back into the wild. Look at that, the back scratcher built in. And within 2 weeks, they were all killed. So it's such a sad thing. So they're kept pretty much in zoos and conservation areas now. So because we've created a waterhole, we've got lots of native Australian birds, water birds, that congregate here. If you were good, you could pick up that there's probably in excess of 10 or 20 different species in here. Now coming up on the left is one of our herd of zebra. These are the plain zebra. And this one's on her own, I'm not quite sure why, but here's the others coming up. This is again a breeding herd. There's two stallions here, a young stallion and an older one. And the one who's closest to the road, the lighter coloured, this is a young female we're hoping that we'll successfully breed with her. We'll have a talk about those on the way back, especially the water buck. But those kudu are very shy, and they just like to, they stand still in the shade, and they're very hard to see. They've got faint white stripes on their funny old dead tree beside us. It's been called the dragon tree, and I wonder if you can see why. He actually chews his cud exactly the same as a cow does, and a giraffe has 4 stomachs, the same as a cow. So they eat the tough grass and the leaves of trees, and then they reprocess it by sort of coughing it up in little round lumps and re-chewing it again several times before it passes right through their gut and out. The giraffe also has the largest heart of any animal that lives on land. And that's because they have to keep the blood to their brain with Pansy. There she is. We've just got to keep away from her at the moment because she has a tendency to follow the buses out through the gates. She gets lonely and she wants to stay with people. She was born here, but she was hand raised. Her mother, Cece, was overprotective, so protective she couldn't bear to let her out of her sight. And that meant that if Kapensi went down the back of the mother rhino to have a drink of milk, the mother rhino would think, "Where is she?" and turn around and make sure that she was always at the front of her so she couldn't have a drink. So the keepers actually had to hand raise her, and she drinks a lot of milk every day. She's wide, and they have a very wide mouth, which they munch the grass up with. Now you can tell they're happy because their ears are kind of moving around and their tails are hanging down. If they were upset, their tail would shoot up over their back in a curl, their ears would go back on their heads, and they would start charging around. There's a really good picture of them for you. I'll just stop here for a minute. You can see those incredible horns. Those horns keep growing all the time. They're actually exactly the same material as our fingernails and hair. And so it's really compacted hair. It's made of keratin. And they sharpen it all the time, which is why they have distinctive shapes. But those horns are a problem for the rhino. Have hunted the rhino almost to extinction.
How many are there?
3. Make a noise like a lion, and they'll get up. Oh, 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 oh.
Dad.
Okay. Now let's go.
You didn't eat it?
Melbourne.